a bird is a plane. It's Superman.
This is Dan Jurgen.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action.
This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright.
And you're listening to The Krypton Report.
The Krypton Report podcast is dedicated to all things Superman, Supergirl, and the planet Krypton. We discuss movies, TV, game, comics, and all things DC. So join me, Tyler, with my co-host James and Jania. Let's get going. Welcome to this week's episode of the Krypton Report. Yay! It's Tyler. Woo! And James. Hey, James.
Oh, hey. How's it going?
Just cracking open my morning, I'm going to say Zoa. These healthy warrior energy drinks that The Rock drinks. And, if The Rock drinks it, and it can't be too bad, right?
It is supposed to be a pretty health conscious energy drink as opposed to most of the other ones.
It is. I mean, I've been
that are just full of stimulants. And
I will say that I've drank. I'm not a huge energy drink drinker, but I like these. They actually make me feel better.
They do give you energy. There's no crash that comes.
Yep, that's why I like them.
I do like them. They taste good.
The orange is my favorite, then the lemon lime, then the blue, and then regular, and then I hate coconut. I just hate coconut, period. So it's my body.
Well, if you don't like coconut, you wouldn't like. I like the pineapple. That's because I like coconut.
I love pineapple. So welcome to the Zoa podcast. We are not sponsored by Zoa or any of its brands, but if they want to throw us some shekels, we'd be okay with that too. But yeah, it's become my morning drink. Because sometimes, excuse me, still getting over this cough. I apologize. Sometimes it's crazy to me that I'll wake up and it's like, I don't want coffee because I'm hot. Like, if I'm hot, I don't want to drink something hot. But it's like coffee's great for when it's like, oh, it's cool in the morning.
Like this morning?
Yeah. Yeah, this morning here in Ohio, where it...
Oh, I slurp on coffee.
James is like, this morning, dummy.
It's cold, man.
And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Got my Superman robe on.
I'm like, you're right, James, it is. But yeah, here in Ohio, it's a little cool.
Yeah, we're in that transition where in Ohio it's like 40 to 50 degrees overnight.
Yeah,
it gets low as 40 to 50 degrees overnight, and then during the daytime we can reach 80s. So we have like a daily temperature 30.
He is,
which is the worst time of the year because everybody gets sick.
Yep.
I do once every few years, but
it sucks because, all right.
Is it not the?
Yeah. It just sucks because, I love fall. It's my favorite time of year, but it just sucks because at night you're like, oh, turn the heat on. You're waking up, the heat's on, then you're like, oh, turn the heat off, and you go for a little bit in the day with nothing on. Like, yes, saving on that energy bill. And then it gets hot, and you're like, okay, guys, turn the air back on for a little bit. And then all of a sudden the sun sets, and you're like, wait, back to the heat.
It's getting real cold here real fast.
But that's enough about Ohio real quick. Let's check in on some news. Anything going on?
Heck, not that I know.
I got a couple things marked down. Nothing super oh my gosh, this is happening. But so this kind of threw me for a loop. Legends Season 7 returns October 13th. That show has an interesting production. That they've already started, and they're already because that one didn't start as early as Batwoman did. Because I know Batwoman comes back on the 13th. As well, so I'm like, wow. I didn't even finish Legend 6, to be honest. I try to stick with every DC property, you know this. But Legends just doesn't feel like a DC show anymore.
I didn't finish Legends season 5, so.
And usually it's just kind of in the background. The only DC shows I haven't finished is Legends and Pennyworth season 2.
It's my.
Let's see. So we got pictures from this upcoming week's Stargirl, which will feature John Wesley Shipp as Jay Garrick with the JSA, and it's the old JSA. Looks like in a flashback, which is sweet. But then you think about, all right, is it pre-crisis, post-crisis? Because we think about that, John Wesley Shipp's Flash was supposed to be Earth 3, but Stargirl is supposed to be the new Earth 2. So were they Earth 3 pre-crisis and now post-crisis they're Earth 2, Just
possibility.
So some deep thinking.
We do. Right. Well, considering like when a crisis happens, history is rewritten. So a flashback be in the post-crisis universe. What is the history of what would technically be like in a timeline pre-crisis? But that never happened. Now it's something else, or it happened differently. So it would still be a post-crisis flashback of the JSA, but it would be the post-crisis timeline.
Yeah. It's all good. I also just want to punch. Joel McHale's Starman just looks like a douche. I just want to punch you in the face.
Joel McHale can play a very, very douchey character.
Exactly. So. That's why I'm like, but he needs a mask as a Starman, but whatever. So that's coming. And what's also sad is, as of this recording, yesterday would have been the weekend, the day that we all should have been seeing the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Had the not changed again. And that just it bums me out because I love the idea of like a new Batman in October. And it would have been Jania's birthday. This is Jania's birthday today. She's actually out as of this recording.
Happy birthday, Jania.
Everyone should get online and wish Jania happy birthday. It's in order. And, it's just like that would have been awesome to go and see as a family. But we're not. All right. So moving on with more. So if you're go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say just on set photos, I saw something this morning about Flash Armageddon.
Yeah.
Seen it. So there's set photos circulating around of actually Grant Gustin in a yellow Flash suit speaking Damien Dark. That's all it is. It's behind the scenes. It's just, but Grant Gustin's in a yellow Flash suit.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
It looks like something like the tachyon thing across his chest or something. Yep.
Interesting. If you are a Teen Wolf fan, I believe it's, is it Ian? I don't know if it's Ian or Ian. I apologize. I've never heard it spoken. But the actor who played the one uncle to Tyler Hoechlin's character on Teen Wolf is now going to basically be a lieutenant come in for the DOD who does not like Superman. So I'm like, all right.
Well, does not like Superman because he is you serve under somebody or you are the one they serve.
Yep.
And he doesn't like the fact that Superman exists outside of that character.
So then I got thinking, like, who's left from Teen Wolf who hasn't been in a DC property? Not many. Not many. I think main cast-wise, Styles. I'll tell you what, that was a good show. I did watch the first. I never watched the last season, but like the first 4 seasons, especially the first 2, were really, really, really good of Teen Wolf. It just used a different like set of mythology, so it was cool. But the one character who played Allison, she was on Swamp Thing. She was Abby. Of course, Roy Harper, Colton Haynes, he was on there. Tyler Posey, the main character, he was on Smallville in one of like the crazy worst episodes of Smallville with the farmer who, you know, like underground or whatever.
Was he the young man?
The migrants.
Was he the young migrant worker?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And so, yeah, I think that's a lot of. And then later in the series, John Wesley Shipp appears as an abusive father. But then one of the new high school students is Dylan Sprayberry, who played the young Clark in Man of Steel. So, yeah, there's a nice little, grouping. So, but anyways, this is not the Teen Wolf podcast, though it could be. We could start that up. And
I'd have to watch it. I've never seen it.
It's like I said, man, it's good.
I wanted to check it out because of Tyler.
I started. What's funny?
I mean, I like Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox.
What's really funny about it is I started watching it once, and I was like, "This is cool." And then I was like, "Janita, we have to watch this together." And she was busy, and I didn't want to watch it without her because I knew it was one of those shows I get hooked on. Well, then a year later, basically, is when I heard rumors that Tyler Hoechlin had been auditioning for what they said was Bruce Wayne for BVS. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I was like, let's watch Teen Wolf, and we got hooked. And that was like in July of 2013 we started watching it, because in August is when they announced Affleck. So I just thought that was interesting. Little thing. And then last but not least, we got the first trailer for Sandman, for the Netflix Sandman series. Did you watch the trailer?
I started it while I was at work, and then I got called off. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It looks good. And right now, for everyone on Audible, you can go and get the audio drama of Sandman and listen to it. It's good. I was listening to the audio drama. I like it. Sandman's always been one of those things. It's just been, I don't know what it is. It's always just been really hard for me to get into.
I am sure that I would enjoy a visual show like this. I mean, heck, they got now I can't remember the actor's name. The King Lannister, father. Mm-hmm. He's a fantastic actor, all the way back to one of the first things I know him from, Last Action Hero.
Yep.
As Benedict. From what I've heard, this trailer, this first look, is basically like issue 1 of the book series. So,
and like I said, I started listening to the audio drama, which, like I said, go to Audible, check it out. It's really awesome because it has an amazing voice cast. James McAvoy.
I did snatch it up while it was free. I have not listened.
James McAvoy is Morpheus, the Lord of Dreams. Taron Egerton is Constantine. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one I was excited for. Those two particularly.
So those are ones I'm remembering off the top of my head, but yeah, it's a good listen. So that's all I got for news. That'll be something I will watch it, just because I am more of a visual person.
Yeah, I'll probably enjoy it. I've wanted to check out his books. I've read a little bit of Neil Gaiman here and there, but I've not read anything of his like straight on through like Sandman beginning. So yeah, it'll be new to me, and from what Neil Gaiman has talked about, since it's under his control, it's his property, Sandman. He's very much in control of the project, and he's doing it modern day. So how Sandman was supposed to exist in the time it was written, this Sandman is that story, but it exists as if it was written today, in today's time. So it's not going to feel like period piece from whatever the 80s or 90s.
But Sandman starts interestingly when they capture Morpheus, like he's in the past. And we'll just leave that alone. We don't know enough.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice to dive into when it comes out, because I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm very much looking forward to the Sandman project.
So,
and I do want to listen to the Audible, but every time I get on my Audible, I'm trying to finish it, which is like a 45-hour Audible book. So it's taking a long time.
I usually do like one Audible book every October, and last year I did Dracula, and that took a while.
Nice. Bram Stoker's?
Yeah.
That would be interesting to listen on Audible. It would. I've read it, and it's a very difficult read just because it's journal passages.
I like it when they do like productions more than just like one person reading it, where they have like a voice cast. Like I found, I've never read Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes, and I found an actual production of it. So it's like an audio dramatization of it, and I'm listening to that right now.
Interesting. Yeah, it is one person. He's doing a very good job. But like I said, 45 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's the entire Losers Club. Everything that each person is doing, everything that takes place, jumps back into 2 periods of their lives. It's very long. And I've seen the book. I've never actually read the book, and I've seen the suck ass. Like, it is as long as the entire it's huge.
So, yeah. All right. Well, now that we got that out of the way.
Hey, can I get $1? Sure. That's what friends say, right? And we all know that we all have $1. We spend $1 on crazy stuff. We have a loose change around the house probably for $1. So why not help a friend out? The Krypton Report, of course, has a Patreon, like every podcast does. But unlike other podcasts where we're asking for a lot of money, we're just saying, hey, shoot us $1. $1 a month. Help us keep the podcast going and help us to bring entertainment to you. And you can hear the fun voices of me and James. So go to patreon.com/Krypton Report and give it a shot. Thanks.
Let's get into this week's episode of Supergirl, The Gauntlet. Now, this week's episode, I got to watch, but I did not get to take a lot of notes because it has been a crazy week here.
Yeah, it's been a crazy. So,
yeah,
I've talked about that.
So, let's get into it. So, basically, they have to find the Totem of Courage.
Yes, sir.
And what's interesting is, for this episode, Kelly is almost completely absent of this episode. Almost. And I just found that from just an interesting point. But
bringing up Kelly, I like the way that she's the one who brings Alex back down.
yeah, she is.
So, yeah, that's kind of I like she was in such a strong raw episode, and then in this one she's hardly in it, but when she is, she has a purpose.
Oh, when she's here, it's strong. But so they are trying to break down and figure out the totem and what can be the totem of courage. And Lena's back, so she's helping. She starts to tell Kara about her trip. But what we discover is that at the museum, this happens to be at the Museum of National City, is a slingshot.
Slingshot that David used to kill Goliath.
And I was like, really?
Yeah, Jamie was like that. She's like, oh, biblical route.
I'm just like,
well, I guess with fifth dimensional energy, it could take place at time.
I know, but I was just kind of like, really? Like, if that's where you're going? Like, with all the crazy stuff you could do, like, David's slingshot is the totem of courage.
Right. Yeah.
But Nixley still doesn't have her powers. She's in the museum. She's trying to get it. But, okay.
Yeah, her powers have been nullified by the bracelet that Mixie slipped on her.
So let's follow Lena for a second. Hold on, because I feel like Lena doesn't have a whole lot to do in this episode. But her and Kara have an exchange, and of course, she starts talking about magic and everything. And Kara takes Lena to the fortress, and they find a hologram of Vita, the Kryptonian witch, and she talks about the totems. And
they were in search of totems, and the search ended up destroying her covenant.
Yep. And they talk about if you find the totems, this word you have to say, and really interesting stuff. Okay.
Yeah, and that for each totem you will be put through a trial. Or a gauntlet person.
An emotional toll.
Yeah, and it will take something from it. It'll exact an emotional toll on.
And that's really good setup. Lena's curious about, those witches aren't Krypton, and she's trying to talk to Kara about stuff. And then we'll fast forward for a second, Lena does, at the end of this episode, tell Kara that her mom was technically a witch.
Yeah, that she has access to magic. Because that is something I was going to say before.
And
is that she held that in? She withheld that information.
For a beat, like
kind of just at the beginning.
And
I didn't expect her to keep it a secret for very long because Lena had made that turn before. And if they went back to her keeping that secret for freaking 3-4 episodes, I'd have been like, oh, you suck.
Right. And that's what I was like, please.
So I'm glad she told her.
And that's why I was like, please don't do this. Like, don't, we're past all this. Okay.
Yeah. I understand because she kind of withheld it because she was she was trying to figure out how to drop it. But then also they dove right into what was happening. They dove right into the totems, trying to find the courage totem. They dove right into the story, the plot of the episode. So, like, things were happening, things were going on. So when it finally came down to the point, she gave that information.
And Kara's all like excited, and I like Helene's like, look, I'm telling you this, but I'm having a hard time kind of rationalizing it and understanding it, and I like that
because she is still fighting against it because she keeps calling it fifth dimensional energy. And other people are calling it magic, and Vita is calling it magic.
And magic can just be a word. That's sometimes you have to realize, like, magic can just be a word for something.
Well, because her rationalization is it has to be energy. It has to come from somewhere, and it has to cause something. But that's the thing about magic. It's not necessarily, there's not necessarily a source of energy. It exists, and it's a manipulation of natural.
Yeah.
It's not. The thing is that it's not scientific. It's something you can't. Even when you try to rationalize it, somebody can rationalize it in a completely opposite way, and it makes sense.
Yeah. So that's pretty much Lena's big contribution to the story. Excuse me. Now let's get back to where we are. They're at the museum, and Nick's got guards coming.
Yeah, she very unstealth-like steals. This certainly was not a Catwoman burglary.
Oh no!
She just walks up to the thing in broad daylight, and smashes the case, and tries to run out with the slingshot.
And it's just kind of funny because they all show up, and then Kara tries to stop her, and it splits the slingshot. And Courage gets released to everyone who's around there. And we have this whole other subplot with a scientist who
trying to harness the power of light.
Yep. Interesting.
Yes.
And
it's just another thing to cause tension,
Mm-hmm.
So that way everything that's happening is it's dire at the moment because of this massive lightning storm that confines it.
So Courage is released. Now, Courage is different for everybody. Because Kara is not affected. But Jean is affected by basically having the courage to tell people how he feels. So he becomes like the ultimate supporter and proud dad. He's like,
that was fun.
Hey, I'm just going to tell you did a good job. I'm very proud of you for what you're doing here. Go get it, Alex. Good job.
It's hilarious the way him and Alex reacting. The best scene of that whole of everything that's happening, Jean being super supporter and Alex being this, it makes Alex like this gung-ho, happy for a fight type person.
Mm-hmm.
She goes head on with the dragon.
Yep.
With the dragon, we've seen a number of times, but is hiding, transformed to Anna. She goes head on with the dragon. Uses her Martian hand to wrap a lasso around its neck like she's gonna wrangle. And she almost dies. And she's still got a smile on her face and ready to go back.
And it's just, he just cracks me up with his overcome. Brainy is affected by basically not having the courage to be wrong. Was it his calculations?
Yeah, he's afraid to miscalculate.
Yeah, so that's it was a little tweak on his. And then some other people are kind of like what you'd expect, courage, like the humans of not holding back. I guess Nia goes into a sleep coma because they said they can't wake her. She's in a deep dream because she had the courage to attempt something she had never done before.
Yeah, she went down into Inception where, it's only raw subconscious. Yeah.
You better have your totem.
Right?
Your totem, not your wife's totem. Big clue for Inception, people. Big clue. Anyways, for a 10-plus-year-old movie, we have Kara's gonna do the Gauntlet, and when she starts her Gauntlet, it takes her back to her first night as Supergirl. So that was cool.
Yeah, she goes to save the plane, and after she rescues the plane, she's flying back home, and she hears somebody calling out for help, which she refused to answer because she was afraid of being seen up close and, without a super suit, that type of stuff. And she ignored it and went home. And this time she didn't. She went and rescued.
But that still was not what the Gauntlet wanted, and she failed.
She failed.
And
then Nixley does her Gauntlet, and she says the words, and it takes her back to the day of the coup that her and her brother were supposed to throw the father. And then Nixley, after it was all said and done, which her father really met, he's a horrible person.
You know who that is? The actor?
I recognized him. I couldn't place him.
All right. So he's one of the actors who appeared in Supernatural that pissed me off. Because first, he appears in one of my favorite episodes, Something Wicked This Way Comes, or Something Wicked This Way. It's the one where he's the doctor who's the Striga, who is sucking the life out of children in the town. And they have to get the little kids to help them. And you find out that the Striga actually came for Sam. And Dean failed to kill it when they were younger. It's one of my favorite episodes. Might watch it after this. And then he played later, in season 8, 9, or 10. The later seasons started to blur a lot for me. He was had the house for kids who are hunters. And that's where Castiel's human daughter was. But anyways, yeah, so he's from Supernatural. If you're on the CW, you've been on Supernatural.
Yeah, everybody who's been on CW has been on Supernatural.
Or Smallville, just because those are the longest running shows. But anyways, continue.
So she goes and she thinks that having the courage to kill her father is what she needs to do. Well, anyway, he's a real bad person, for one, because he's like, you thought you could attempt a coup, da-da-da-da-da, and then he's like, I'm so proud of your son.
Yeah, what a douche.
But then turn around for a daughter to turn on her father. It's unforgivable. Throw her in jail. Throw her in prison. It's like, wow. You are such a mega misogynistic douche.
You're such a POS.
Yeah. And then she approaches him and she stabs him. She kills her father. And that's when her gauntlet.
And she failed. And so she fails. And then when she does it again, we find out that it's her standing up to her brother. That was the courage she didn't have when her brother goes to betray her. It's a really great scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then she passes. So Nixley passes the gauntlet. Dang.
Yeah, Supergirl tries the gauntlet a second time. And she goes and she saves everybody she can think of, everybody she can hear. She's just bouncing all over the city. And it's obvious that that's not what's happening here. Like, what her gauntlet, I'm still confused as to what it wants from her.
I'm wondering if it'll come back up later or something.
Yeah. I'm curious because I'm still confused on what it wants from her. Nixley's, we find out because it's standing up to her brother and telling her brother how much he betrayed her and how horrible she feels. So it's actually for her it's the courage to feel those emotions and to tell her brother how much he hurt her. And that's her gauntlet. But for whatever reason, I can't figure out Kara's because it's the first time she rescues. She saves the plane, and then it's
maybe is it her
what
being
else?
seen?
Is it her being seen, her not being seen? Is it the fact that would she have had the courage to let the plane go down if Alex wasn't on it? Or
that's deep.
Or does somebody, like the first person she went to save afterwards, like did that person get assaulted and killed? She's got to I'm sorry, you died and I didn't do anything. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good one. It's a good one. So we'll back up just a tick because that's the high beats of the episode. The fun beat of the episode was that to get information they needed later, Vita, the Kryptonian witch, possessed Brainy, and probably one of the best kind of voice acting portrayal of like someone being possessed I've seen in a long while, where it's not too comical.
I laughed so hard.
It was done so well. Like it was funny without being like stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't made to be stupid.
He did a really good job of being possessed by Vita.
Dude, he nailed her cadence. Like,
it makes me,
because
it almost made me wonder, like I had to go back and try to watch it again, where if maybe he did the voice the first time just to match it up, but no, like he matched the actress up.
Yeah, because we hear her speak 3 times when Kara and Lena are talking to her in the fortress, when Brainy is possessed, and then when Lena brings her out again to ask questions. And so the woman speaks. So the woman speaks twice, and then she speaks through Brainy. And when she speaks through Brainy, there's a modulation of his voice and her voice.
Which is how it should be when you're like doing the possession double speak things.
Right. But so we heard her cadence. So what had to have happened is she recorded the dialogue and then he matched her. Mm-hmm. And he matched her perfectly. He matched her so well. It was, I am completely impressed because the ADR is like immaculate.
It was awesome. And that's why it was a very well done part. Like, I almost wish he had been possessed by her more for the whole episode just because it was entertaining. So, yeah, of course, like they have to stop the lightning because the person's using her courage to, do the experiment with harnessing the power of lightning. And Kara basically gives up her piece of the totem because once the totem's magic or was split, it has to be whole to pull it back. So Nixley has the whole totem, and at the end, like Nixley and Kara are kind of connected, and she's mad. Excuse me. Because of the fact that they're connected. Like Kara can sense Nixley and what she's feeling and vice versa. And Nixley's mad because Kara's hopeful and happy and Nixley's got this emotional toll on her, but Mitch is the one that points out it's because she won the totem. She's suffering her pain because she has the power.
Yeah. she's yeah, she didn't have that. Supergirl didn't have to do what she'd have to pass. So it does make Nixley feel better that she.
And that's pretty much the episode. I think we got the high points.
Yeah, I think so. There's just more emotional talk between characters as there always is. Did we finish up on the very end with Ina and Kara?
Kinda.
It's like apparently I can do magic and can try to use magic to fight magic with magic.
Yeah, they kind of have that, and that's when Mina's like, I don't know how to feel about this kind of thing.
But I mean, yeah, this was a good episode. I mean, character fun, magic, fifth dimension stuff, the emotional toll took on the characters. Trying to figure out, hey, at least this one's got me thinking about how was her Gauntlet supposed to be resolved. A little less of slap you in the face with a message this week.
Yeah, there wasn't like a huge
we need that break once in a while.
Yeah. There wasn't a hard message or like a huge Supergirl speech. So, but there was a small Supergirl speech that was awesome, and a lot of good speeches from John. So we all need a little, pep talk in the background.
Yes, sir.
But so that was Supergirl. Now let's do some comics, man.
If you enjoy Superman podcast, here's some others to check out: Digging for Krypton, Black Krypton, Inspiring Krypton. It all comes back to Superman. Superman Forever, All Star Superman podcast, Superman animated podcast. Always hold on to Superboy Legacy podcast. Check them out. Always a good time. Always something new.
You ready to do some comics?
It's been a little while. I am ready to do some comics.
What do we want to do first? We got a little bit of a stack building up.
Well, I got my Batman and Superman ones here right in front of me first.
All right, let's do that. Let's take on some Batman and
got
Superman.
Authority number 3 here.
Let's
leave you to take the lead on action.
All right, let's start some Batman and Superman here. We got 4 issues technically. It starts with Batman Superman number 20, which has Etrigan. And how do you feel about Etrigan, like in comics?
I mean, I like the creativity it takes to make him rhyme. I know he's supposed to be a Superman level demon.
Yeah.
And I've only seen him. Most of my interaction with him is through the Justice League Dark, their comic for anime. So
yeah,
I also seen him on Batman Brave World.
So when we start this book, we have where it picks up that they're still in like Wild West, and Arturo is attacking, and you have Superman. My favorite is Superman with the chains on him pulling the train. I think that's great looking. And then we have basically Arturo pulling Etrigan from hell and releasing him all over. And it's like all over Metropolis. And it's crazy because, like you said, trying to get him to rhyme. Etrigan works for me so much as like a secondary character. I like him in the Justice League Dark. I love the relationship between Superman and Robin. And I love that he hears his signal watch. And you have like the double page spread in this, where if you look, it's like film strips, but you see Shazam, you see Wonder Woman as they're kind of flying through the different film strips to get to where Etrigan is attacking. And we have Superman with the great Scott. What did he do to my city? And I really like the look of Superman and Batman in this run. But you have Diablo actually fighting devils and demons.
Yeah. Diablo and her name Ron. Adam Strange's girlfriend.
Yep.
I can't remember her name now.
Yeah. Superman uses his breath, and then, but what's interesting is Etrigan's at the fortress, and he uses his magic to lift the key to get inside the fortress, and then the last page is him with all the superbots being controlled. And I mean, I don't like Etrigan as much as a villain. I like him more as like an anti-hero, more of reluctant to want to help and do stuff, but he does. Because I always just like the relationship between him and Jason Blood, you know.
Right.
But that's 20. Now we'll jump over to 21. Called Swarm of the Supermen. Let's pop that out here. I hate to see this run end, and I'm trying to figure out when. I think this run is over. I thought it ended at 22, but I'm not sure. I knew it was like 20-something. But we see Superman and Batman in a plane. They're flying. Then here comes the swarm of superbots. But then we also see a Randian giant worm appear in the Wild West world. And that would suck.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have Superman and Batman and Robin fighting all this, and they're trying to get back to the fortress. And Superman's showing Batman the fortress. And, you know, Robin makes the remark about, holy, we saw a ship just like this in Warden Luther's office, only this one was empty. And Superman's like, that's the ship I came to in this world. And then there's Etrigan, and Robin's all freaked out hardcore when he sees Etrigan. But I love the art for this book.
Yeah.
And the panel grids and the film strip. Like, it's so masterfully done. I love seeing Superman and Batman working together.
I like them working together, even though they don't know each other. It's they exist in worlds where, one, there is no Superman on Batman's world, and on Superman's world there is no Batman. Bruce exists,
but yet they're finding balance. And then Etrigan just basically abandons his role during the battle, and Arturo shows up. And Batman and Superman go to fight, but then when they do, we see that be freed by the words of Etrigan. And then we see the other Batman and Superman show up. the regular Batman and Superman, who are like really huge. And
Yeah.
they're fighting and basically free Arturo down to where we see his more normal, natural, how he looks without all of his armor. And he says, I will be known as the Observer. .io. And everyone's kind of back into starts to go back into their correct place. Except Diablo's fighting that worm. And then Alana shows up from Rand to help Diablo fight that worm. And then we see at the very beginning that somebody, looks like Darkseid, because it looks like a parademon, has the film strip with Shazam on it, and it says a beginning.
Yeah, that I was
Which makes me like upset if like since this book is canceled, unless he's able to like do a new like run or something somewhere else, like with Shazam.
Well, the thing I'm curious about is besides, this one landing in the film strip that they're doing and the archive worlds. This book was the most infinite frontier of just about any book, except for Infinite.
And fun.
Yeah, it was
just
fun.
Like, it really made the Infinite Frontier come to, so this is what they want to do. Like, the Batman Superman team-up book isn't the Batman Superman of the regular storylines. And that's what I was hoping for with Infinite Frontier.
Yeah, that they could be storylines at, like, any point. Because, we haven't really talked that much about it. But Infinite Frontier, Darkseid is like the over all the up top villain. There's a couple other villains involved. Version of Lex Luthor and Psycho Pirate. But Darkseid says that after all of the crises, he's been all of his all the different iterations of. So there's only been one Darkseid, but each crisis he was kind of rewritten. And this Infinite Frontier Darkseid is all of his past iterations have been merged to one perfect evil of Darkseid.
That's really cool. It's like the ultimate Darkseid.
Yeah, that's what it is. His Omega beam in it is black.
Ooh.
It's not red.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is Darkseid's.
So, to see that Darkseid seem to be at end there, because that book is so the next two books we're going to talk about, they do continue the story, but that book, it just continues the story of the fictional Batman, Superman characters. Not fiction, film versions.
Yeah.
The archive. That one seems like there's still Darkseid. It's I don't know. It's out there. It's still looking at something. It's still planning something.
Well, he's Darkseid.
Yeah. Well, he's always planning. But that was just my favorite ending to these books.
And now I want to read even more. Thanks, bud. So, all right. So the annuals sometimes are hit and miss. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they're like filler. But I didn't realize when I went to get the annual, I didn't know if you did either. I thought there was 2 different covers.
Me too.
And what it is Superman. And if you flip it around, it's like upside down. It's Batman. But what it is, it's 2 separate stories. And one is like basically Superman in Batman's world. And the other is Batman in Superman's world. And then as you get to the story, it's a double-page spread that's like spinning film strip that you kind of wind around, and it connects the stories. It's awesome. It's such a great book.
Yeah. They the way that the stories merge is really cool. It's when you look at, so you're looking at Superman and you flip it directly over top to bottom, like, so half of the story is written and printed one way and the other half is upside down. So you still read it like a normal book, but once you get to the middle, you have to flip it over and go back to the beginning and read the other side. And it's kind of cool how they are in each other's world. Batman is Batman and Robin in the world of tomorrow, and Superman in the world of the night. So, like, they're learning how each other has to work and to make themselves better.
And it's just a great story, the fact that they're doing that. And I don't want to spoil it for you, because I mean, even if you didn't read the run, I highly recommend picking up this book.
Yeah, because this issue here in particular, the annual, is the culmination of Yang's run.
And then
and the story that took place via Arturo and the Auteur and the Observer.
And you have 2 different artists on the book too. You have one artist, and it's Francilia, I think how you pronounce it, who's doing the art for the Superman story.
Yeah, Francesco Francavilla.
Francavilla. And then
Paul Pelletier at pencils, inks, I5,
which I think has been an amazing team who have done the book regular do the Batman story.
Yeah. I prefer the art on the Batman side than I do the art on the Superman side.
I agree.
But the art on the Superman side kind of has a more classic feel to it. Like this could be a story that was written in the 1930s or the 1940s, written and drawn.
Yes.
Because like the world of the night seems very very noir, very older, whereas obviously the world of tomorrow feels much more modern, and so we get more modern art there as well.
So I don't want to spoil the story, like I said, just because I think there's some great emotional beats with Bruce and his pseudo mom, but also like Batman's interaction with Commissioner Gordon, and then Superman, and then I think this is kind of crazy how we get Doomsday. It's a very Bane-like Doomsday that's actually, ready for this, Alfred. And he actually is fighting Batman. Doomsday is fighting Batman. And then they kind of, during that part is when they go into like the space to meet Superman. And Superman has to stop Alfred as Doomsday. It's a real quick, just kind of in the panels. But it was interesting. And then
Yeah. He was Bane. He had Venom, and then he's got a new updated drug that turned into Doomsday.
yeah, it was crazy that it was Alfred as changed into Doomsday and Batman's fighting Doomsday, and then they kind of merge and fight together with Superman. So, but then, okay, our last issue of Batman Superman 22 is the one that just came out. And I think it's the last one because it's a very kind of self-contained story. And I thought that this one was the last one, but like you said, it was the culmination of Yang's story with Arturo, because this is more Batman Superman of the current time. Our characters, not the Elseworlds. But this one is basically Mixus Pitalik.
And Calendar Man.
And Calendar Man. And basically, the gist of it is he teaches Calendar Man that life exists inside boxes just like calendars. Because he asks him why he was obsessed with the calendar besides just his namesake. Calendar Man gets a fifth dimensional hat, and he sees basically boxes, which are the panels of a comic. And
the world exists in the panels of comics.
And there's parts where he goes to hit somebody, and his hand goes into the next box, and you see that person get hit, not knowing where it came from. And you see him looking like over and through the different boxes, and he sees that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he goes to tell Kite Man, and I'm not sure who the one person is. It's Kite Man,
Firefly.
Yeah, I knew Firefly, but the other one,
I don't know who the king is.
the drunk jester,
the
jester or something.
I wouldn't think so. But, I mean, guy's wearing a crown, wearing a royal cape, and royal Nick. He's got a purple mask. Don't say.
Because all he does is say, at one point, look, I'm a him, swinging about like a drunken jester. So, he doesn't even refer to him. But Calendar Man, it's great because he swings a broken glass bottle, but he swings down the panel and gets them all in the face.
Yeah.
And then he jumps from the panel into the Hall of Justice and starts fighting Batman and Superman between the panels. And then all of a sudden, this part is what Mixus Pitalik gives him a pen to erase stuff. He erases Batman's Batarang, but then he drops it and it cuts his arm off.
Yeah, it drops it to the next panel and it comes down and it cuts his arm off.
And then Batman and Superman do what they do is immediately, boom, Superman stops the bleeding with heat vision. Batman wraps it, and Calendar Man's like, "You saved my life." And Superman takes the bowler hat and burns it.
That's what Calendar Man saved your life.
And then Calendar Man's laying in bed, basically having a breakdown, and we see Mixie erase his thought bubbles.
So he no longer knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Or what happened. Fixes his arm. And he has a great speech about heroes and why we love our heroes. And he says, "You love to see your heroes win." And that's the...
Yeah, Mixie's talking to the audience. Mixie's talking to us.
And it was a good little, crazy one-off adventure.
Yeah.
Using Calendar Man. I loved it. And it makes sense, with the whole boxes. And I did too. I thought it was ingenious, and also just something with Calendar Man that's not the Long Halloween.
Yeah. And something with Mixie that,
it's just him being more mischievous.
It fits. Yeah, it totally fits.
All right, James, you want to take us into Superman?
I love the way he was like, "You've been here every month since 1938. That's forever. I mean, I didn't even show up until 1944.
I did love that. I was going to call that out. I did love that. Little side story, real quick, tangent. We took the kids to see Addams Family 2. And I was reading. I did not realize that Charles Addams' first Addams Family cartoon, because how they were just one panel, satirical cartoons inside the New Yorker. debuted in 1938.
What? That's sweet.
I was like, oh, snap. I knew like they started way back, when. But I was like, 1938? Same year as Superman? Dope. But,
Yeah.
All right, James, why don't you take us to Superman and the Authority, since that's kind of you on the cover of Superman. That's Superman James.
Superman James. I'm telling you, I can't wait to do that cosplay.
That's the man.
Probably be the first one I do. First one I actually do as a costume. You know what I mean? Other than just dressing up in a costume, because
Yep.
it's Halloween.
Yep. My favorite.
It's Halloween.
Oh, all right. Is that what you're wearing for Halloween? Yes, that's what it is. Yep. Not everyday dress.
I was gonna say, they tell you to dress for the job.
That's why, that's why I defend the whole Superman truth thing, where he had like the buzz cut and just wore jeans and a t-shirt, because that's pretty much what I wore to work every day, was dark blue jeans and a Superman t-shirt. And I was like, that whole run, I was like, every day I was going to work, like, I'm cosplaying. I'm Superman. I'm wearing the Superman suit.
Right.
And then he went back to his costume, and I was like, dang it.
Nice. Like, where am I going to get Kryptonian armor?
Right. I'm like, I can't wear armor to work. All right. Take us there, James.
Yeah, so we wake up. We start the book. When taking a shower, it's June Moon. She's getting dressed. She, interestingly enough, her coat flies across. I'm not even sure she realized it happened. Kalex is there, or it's Superman. She say Kalex brings her into they're calling Port Superman, to the round table where Midnighter, Apollo, Steel, Manchester Black, and Superman are all waiting for you. She starts to remember that she was in hell. And then they go through what actually happened in hell. How she was being held there. And basically it was herself. Like, she was holding herself. That her and the Enchantress are one and the same. But up until this point, it'd been like they were two separate entities. Superman, we're gonna stay as long as we possibly can. I like how Manchester Black says, I say embrace your darkness, it'll make you strong. Take prep on your side. Talking about people that's like holding her there.
Which is very interesting.
Says she don't need a self-help lecture. She wants a good kick in the arse. Divert D. Zamore. I'll man the suicide hotline in fashion. Like he's gonna give her the hard truth,
Yeah.
What if I'm just like everybody else and I'm not perfect? How will I cope? Boo hoo hoo. Get over yourself.
That's funny.
Which sometimes, get pushed so far. That's what you got to tell people, man. I've been there.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Life hurts. Pick yourself up and move on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's. I need her. She needs me. Together, we're unstoppable. So she basically becomes a manage, and she destroys the mirror. Superman. We made it with seconds to spare. June Moon, immediate medical attention. Superman. So we return back to present time, where June is. She's now. I remember. I woke up feeling different. Something's not anymore, and she starts to use magic. She repairs her coffee cup she dropped. she transforms into Enchantress. Excuse me, sorry. The green costume.
I like this look of Enchantress. Like it's it's a lot better than the look, she's almost naked.
Right? I've seen different versions of her, but every time she transforms, she transforms into something different person. So I kind of like this transformation. She's herself, but she transforms into this magic being. She starts using magic.
It was cool.
I think it's probably been a long time coming for this game.
I agree.
Honestly. Yeah, so Superman knows that some things happen. This Superman is like, it almost seems like this Superman is, like at this point, he's almost always Superman.
Yes.
At this point, we don't see like Lois, we don't see him working at the Daily Planet or anything like that.
It's very hard to figure out where this story takes place, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, because this story, it begins, Superman is there as Superman when John Kennedy assassinated.
Which really
he's around. He's not on Earth. He'll probably stop something else. So, I mean, this is just, it's an aging Superman. Which is, powers are.
Yeah, hanging out at Fort Superman. So I want to know more about that. Because at first, this story felt a little bit almost like a Elseworlds-esque type tale, but we learned that it's not.
Yeah. Then we go to Earth's orbit. Here's some talk about Q and superpowers are flying. Compared to me, he's a brute, 8-man. And we don't really know who this is at this time. We kind of make some assumptions. Gorilla, brain.
It looks like it's the Ultra Humanite inside Solomon Grundy's body.
So, but yeah, as we move forward, when he attacks Superman.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, he says, because like up on the ship in orbit, like see the shadow of what could be a gorilla, but a brain and a jar. Everything's really hidden in shadow. So it's kind of cool to bring back the Ultra Humanite in this story, though, in a story about Superman, because Ultra Humanite was the first supervillain that Superman ever fought.
Yeah, and he's very interesting history.
So, but Superman is sending some people to go get this woman named Light Ray. Thought they said her name. Not seeing right offhand.
Because she appears in Light of Our Lives, Light Ray, which is like a flashback to her birth.
Yeah, she's actually born on Mars.
Leah Nelson?
August 2000. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a woman is pregnant. She's giving birth. She's holding a guy's hand. You're Celeste. You're hurting. I'm having a baby. Whatever.
Yeah.
And you've been having an affair. And she says, "Don't you get it? It's not yours." So I don't think the baby's hers. She discovered he was having an affair. She had her own.
Interesting. And then we see like this little propaganda type thing of Laya. And then we see her actually super sad in her apartment. And she's talking about how she's like supposed to be the one that 22 million followers. She's supposed to be optimistic. And then we see like a dark shadow coming in. And then Apollo shows up. And they say Eclipso.
Which Eclipso to me was always kind of a goof villain, but man, they're making him sweet on Stargirl. If anybody's watching Stargirl, highly recommend that show.
Yeah, I'm not caught up in the scene. You've begun the scene.
And then Apollo gets attacked by someone. Do we know who attacks him? Because it looks like a mixture between a Purple Lantern and a Lexo suit.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Apollo's a strong character, so the fact that she's able to tackle him down the mountain, even by surprise, like she must be some kind of power.
And then we see the rest of the team outside Dubai getting attacked by people calling themselves.
Sure.
Yeah. And
so, yeah, I'm not sure what's happening in Dubai. Superman was expecting something.
But now we're back in Fort Superman.
I haven't read this in a couple, so I forget exactly why they went there.
To get her.
I know Superman.
I thought. But
to get her?
Yeah.
I thought that's where Apollo...
He's inside. I thought they were around there. I could be wrong.
Oh.
So much comments.
It looks at different times because they're in the daylight in Dubai.
But so
I'm not sure.
What happens at the end? The part that.
But yeah, it was a nice interaction between Midnighter and Manchester Black. I like Manchester speaking up that he's there.
Yep.
And then in the end, back at Superman, predictoscope forecasts come with complex stochastic interference, but broad outline consistent, facing an unwelcome attempt to get attention, or might see. All we can be certain of is its imminent periods. Created lifelike FGs, several of my persistent enemies, their brainiac parasite, Fallow, but I don't recall a statue of Solomon. This is born on a Monday with the brain sticking out of the top of the head.
And that can be too good, not protecting the brain, because if I was Superman, that's the first thing I'd punch is the open brain. And he says, Solomon Grundy, strong, fast, all but mindless. And it says, mindless, quite the reverse. Your speech pattern, familiar. I know you. And it says, then you know the end has come. We've clashed many times, you and I, but this will be our last encounter. And then it says, Ultra Humanite meets Superman.
Yeah, if I have anything to say, Ultra Humanite, Super Rams.
And then they're like, so that he takes him and he's taken to the bottle city of Kandor.
Yeah, well, he smashes the mobile. All these years you've grown slow, Superman. Long scheme, swap your brain, mind, ultimate mind, ultimate imperative, body. As revenge goes, there's symmetry. Eh? Now you're weak, worthless. So it's important. It's important you understand what I do. For all the times you can, I'll wear your face to murder your wife and friends. I'll burn you out, or I cast aside your spent carcass and take your son's body as a prize. But first, the place where the surgical equipment is and indestructible as you, a place where I can exchange this lifeless mass of lumbering vegetation for alien. So yeah, he's taking him to Kandor to do surgery and place his brain inside Superman's body to ultimately take his son's body as his own.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The Ultra Humanite is...
There is a lot.
Yeah, there is.
Grant Morrison, man, he can pack a book story like, and it's not like overly dialogue heavy. maybe it just seems that way because it's written so well. But like when you look at books written by like, it's the writer when it did Justice Dark just a while back. No, it was Tynan.
Was it?
Tynan?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I haven't read Dark in a while.
I'm thinking Tomasi or Tynan, but I think it was Tynan. Very, very word heavy. Very. There's a lot in these books, and there is a lot of dialogue. There's a lot happening, but nothing seems to be wasted. You know, nothing said that doesn't mean something. Maybe that's what it is. Either way, very good. I'm enjoying Superman.
I am too. So now, let's jump over to Action. Action's been a really great book, because that's kind of been our current Superman title. Since technically, when you think about it, Superman itself is, the book is what's become Superman, son of Kal-El. We don't have a Superman title right now, but we have Action. So let's jump into Action. 1033 is where Atlantis still has that piece, the Genesis piece, which is World War Rising Part 4. And Superman's trying to talk to him, but he needs help about getting to the slave ship. And they're still not really on board with everyone going and helping him on World. Batman's there, Aquaman's there. And basically Batman's the one that says it's an arms race. He says the fragment belongs to Atlantis. And Superman's like, I wasn't finished. And I didn't come here to settle international disputes or decide the allocations of someone else's resources. I came here because right now 3 runaway slaves are in my home. And it's really setting the stage for other things that's about to come that is interesting, because we didn't realize it at the time exactly. And we go back to the fortress, and there is I can't remember her name. Why did it just leave me? Training with Lois and John. And
Theola?
Yeah, Theola. Thank you. I was like, it just escaped my brain. And John's like, Dad's calling, I'll be back. And Lois is trying to have a moment with her, and Lois does this she gives him a Theola, she really has a lot of psychological problems. And Lois tries to give her a toy that she talks about that Clark had from Kandor. She asks her if she recognizes it, and she slaps it saying, you think I'm a child. And she's like, are these the chains of a child? And Lois is like, help me understand why you wear these chains. And she says basically that after every battle in World, the loser must give iron to the victor. In this way, the victor's reach grows, while the loser's lessens. The weight of the iron makes the victor stronger, while the loser grows weaker. My iron is a gift, which is a very strong story. But then she says to Lois, like, roll, like, you carry no iron. And it shows like just that kind of slave mentality, brainwashed mentality subject, where she's been, beaten into a form of submission. and where her mental state is from the abuse that she has suffered. And then we cut back and we see the Mongols. You know, the old Mongol on the ground, the new Mongol, and then the baby that's in like a mech suit. And we're there watching Thala, and Mongol says, "Awaken the box." And now we see the captives inside the prison, and one of them's chest is starting to turn on. And the other one rips his chest open and pulls something out of it, which is creepy. The U.S. and the Atlanteans are about to go to war, and then Superman, John, and Supergirl show up. And basically, Superman basically lays his claim of, like, we'll stop this, and then we're back in the fortress, and Thala is looking over the other two refugees, and Mongol, servant guy who looks like he's a bad Street Fighter character, shows up, and Lois blasts him in the back with her big old gun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of the actual issue. I didn't read the backups, to be honest.
Yeah, you really hadn't been reading Snyder stuff.
I just, it's not that it's horrible. It's just, I don't know. I don't like the art a lot of times, and it's just not hitting me. 1034, The House of L. We're getting it. And so there's Lois with her gun, fighting the refugees with Thala. And did they say his name? I'm looking for it. The ugly dude who looks like a bad Street Fighter Mortal Kombat character. He wants to be like Goro.
I don't think so.
He's like Goro minus 2 arms in yellow.
Yeah, the one who wants to. I don't think so. They call him. Now.
He picks up the other 2 refugees, and he looks at Thala and says, "The cost of your weakness." And he smashes their heads together, and then she just lets loose her heat vision and annihilates everyone. And she's saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He'll kill them all if I don't. I have no choice." And she turns to Lois with heat vision in her eyes. Meanwhile, Superman, Superboy, and Supergirl are trying to take on the Americans and the Atlanteans by stopping them from fighting over it. And Superman yells, "Enough," and goes crazy and freezes water and makes a huge division between the two. Good on him. And then he goes down to get the piece, and there's Arthur, like Caucasian Momoa looking, and says, "I thought it would be Bruce. I might not be able to stop you, Clark, but if you do this, it will change things between us." Clark takes it, flies out, takes Supergirl and Superboy, and they're both kind of like, Supergirl's like, "That was a mistake. It's done, Kara. You shouldn't have done it. What should we have done then?" "I don't know. Not that." And then John's like, Dad, the fortress. No talking, no machines, no heartbeat. Either somebody's blocking us out or, and boom, all 3 of them go flying. They come in, they see the disaster. He yells for Lois. And then there's Thala holding Lois. And then there's John flying straight at her. "I wanted to be like you someday, Superman. Please forgive me." And there's John coming straight at her. And Arthur is not king of Atlantis, but he's like turning his back on Superman. Okay, not smart, Arthur, but all right. I see you. 2, if you're gonna make enemies with someone, not just making enemies with Superman, but like Superman, Supergirl, and Superboy / Superman John, not smart.
No. Not at all.
All right, Action 1035 with an amazing cover. But what I hate about this cover is it was like spoiled because they released this cover like back in July for us to see. So I've just kind of been waiting for this issue to come out. And I hate that. I hate that how much stuff they release early. But it picks up. Right. It kills me because I'm like, it helps you kind of know the story before it's going to happen. And I'm tired of that. Like, I want to read my comics and be a little bit more surprised. But it starts right where it left off. There's John fighting with Thala. Superman grabs Lois. She says, Clark, don't let him hurt Thala. And then there's Supergirl. They're trying to subdue her. And he says, what happened? Lois is like, Mongol happened. And she says, Clark, Mongol's holding her entire race hostage, Clark. She needs our help. She's not the one I think of. Superman catches her punch. We're not your enemies. And she says, the master is watching. My enemy's bloodline, as you were commanded, prove to my people, destroyer of life. She says, I don't know what to do. Go back to World War with me. Together, we'll free every slave on that planet, I swear. How can I trust you? Trust yourself. You choose to put your faith in. And then she breaks her chains, which should have been a full-page spread. And then when she does, the device is activated by Mongol.
To, like, kill her.
Yeah. And Superman's trying to stop it. He's getting electroshock. And it kind of like he like is like in Mongol's throne room. And he says, do you know before whom you stand?
So I think the device is like a hologram.
Yeah.
It was like showing that way he could watch her.
Yeah.
And kill her if necessary. If she failed.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is when he do you know Stan? What I know is that very soon one of us will be standing. And then he throws it right at his face and vision explode. Even though it's not real or anything. Mong puts his hand up as his guard vision.
It should have been.
I think Superman even got to him right then.
It should have been kind of like the Optimus Prime, like one will stand, one will fall. And then we get 2 days later, and they're in the fortress, and they're kind of doing just a discussion remembrance thing, because we see Thala's actually like in a backup tank, like in Star Wars, off to the side, being, she's being kept to heal for Kellex. And they're talking about what he's going to do. And
this is real. This is really Superman here. Philip Kennedy Johnson, he's freaking killing it. I've loved everything he's written so far since he took on Superman action.
Yep.
Says, these men are house sigil on their skin. Right. All I know about them, not even their, I don't know where they were born or what they wanted for their lives. Long came to them. One day I'll find them. I'll ask them to tell me all there is to know about these two, and then I'll read their story. So, yeah. One thing I do know, Theola cared about them enough. She risked her life to save theirs, make her well again, show her a life. Find the other Philosians and bring them home. Maybe then, after we've done this, maybe I'll ask them to.
And that's an amazing speech. And then somebody's outside.
The Justice League.
And it's very interesting because I haven't been reading Justice League, but it is Green Arrow, Black Adam, Hawk Girl, Black Canary, Naomi, and then is that, I don't know which
That's
Wonder Woman.
Hippolyta.
I'll say I don't know which version of the Wonder Woman idea that is.
No, that's Hippolyta. That's her mother. Endless Winter, how Hippolyta and Black Adam were involved then. How they were part of a trio or something then. That is how Black Adam comes to the team, and then the otherworldly Brutus, maybe. He drew out Hippolyta, and she ended up joining because at this point in time, Wonder Woman isn't around.
Right.
In her book, she's in Valhalla at this time. So Wonder Woman, for all they know, is gone or ascended or whatever she is because she's the one who saved the universe from the darkest night.
Yep. And I liked Endless Winter. I wish that had been I wish it had been its own book instead of like little parts popped up here and there in other books. And a lot of times those stories are really great, but then they just don't know how to finish off the story. So like the last issue kind of always suffers a little bit, but I enjoyed it. It was a cool read. And it's basically Superman telling them that he's leaving, he's going. And
so I don't know if this was in one of the Justice League books, but it's his actions with the Genesis fragment, keeping it from the world because world governments were about to start a war over it. Mostly America and Atlantis, but I think ended up being more involved. But Superman basically taking the fragment so nobody can possess it. The Justice League works with world governments to try and keep peace, and right now he can't be part of Justice League because he pissed it.
Yep.
Because he took what they were fighting about.
Yep, which I don't blame him.
Bunch of petty bastards.
Right.
I can't get the next weapon of mass destruction. Screw you.
Yep. And then, Batman talks to him. He's like, I have to go, and I'm going to go stop. No one's going to go with me to World. And he says, say what you really came to say, Bruce. Fine. I have intel suggests you have another team in place for the war world job. I do. Tell me about them. And it says, continue in Batman and Superman, the Authority #1.
Batman, Superman, and the Authority. I wonder if that's not reason why Batman, Superman, they're building it up into this next.
Right, because Superman and the Authority only has one issue left. And then we see John, not Sean, what the hell?
Which is interesting. It's just really interesting because in
Superman
in the Authority, he was around when JFK was assassinated.
Right, and that's why I'm saying, like, it bothers me, like, trying to figure this out sometimes, and I'm just like, okay, so what are we doing here? Like, what's going to happen, coming up here with how that ends and then the next, because that's when I was like, wait a minute. And that's why I told you, like, we'd have talking points when this is all over. Because this is part that was like throwing me off here. But Superman goes back into his fortress, and there's John, and he talks about, if John gets invited to join the League, because John says, should I go with you? He says, Earth needs you too much for that, pal. If Damien's creepy dad asks me to join the League after kicking you out, I'm going to punch him in his stupid head.
Which sounds like a 12.
Right.
Not an 18-year-old.
Or a 30-year-old trying to say mean things to make his kids laugh without actually saying mean things.
Right.
Not like I didn't say a bunch of stuff the other day. Like, I told you about what happened with some kids telling Solomon that they don't want to be his friend anymore and play with him at recess. Yeah. And I'm like, I said some things just to make Solomon laugh. But yeah.
Yeah, I've done the same. Kids are stupid. I just don't want to be your friend anymore. All right. Bye. It's not the way it is for kids, though. That hurts them.
Yeah, they're like, their whole world is shattered. It's tough growing up, man. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then Superman, I love this. He says, what I'm asking you, John, is for you to believe in me now, and in yourself most of all. He says, I'll always come back, pal. Always. And he gives him a big hug. And of course, we have the knowledge we'll touch on, because this book kind of, it's interesting that when this book's taking place, certain events, and then what happens in Son of Kal-El 3.
Yeah. Kind of seems like there's a little parallel. Like,
yeah, there's some overlap, and when things
like Son of Kal-El 3 might take place like during the day.
Yeah.
Like before when he talks to John here,
mm-hmm.
and then like Superman, Son of Kal-El 3 is right there, and then this picks up later, like that evening or something.
Yep. And then he goes to see Lois, and she says, "Did you say goodbye to Crypto?" Which makes me think of Jania. That's something she would say to me, like, "Did you say bye to our dogs?" Yeah.
Right.
And concerned we have a dog.
Jesus, because he gets all confused and looks around.
I loved it. It made me chuckle. And then,
yeah, it was.
And then she's talking about the tech and how the Genesis, how they'll be protected, and he's like, "Fly with me." And they're up there flying, and the best line right here is, "You seem pretty sure of yourself, Smallville. Why is that?" "Because my love for you is the strongest thing there is." She's, yeah, show me. And then we get a great shot of them kissing by moonlight. Then all of a sudden they're in the air in Lois's jacket.
They're doing zero grav. They're part of the 0 G mile hike. Very,
very exclusive.
Yeah.
And then Lois is laying in bed. He kisses her goodbye. And then we see Superman say, "If anybody wants out, this is the time." And then there's the Authority. And you can tell it's a beat later, because there's the girl in the suit that we were just talking about, and Light Ray.
Well, how can it be a beat later? Because it seems like it's in the future.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And Superman is old, and he's depowered.
Right.
Like, he can hardly fly at that time.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And here we've got, like, the entire Authority that we see in that book. Like, it seems like they're after they've gotten together. Like, I don't know if they line up.
Right. That's what's driving me crazy.
If Grant Morrison's Authority is the same as this Authority. Like, I don't know.
And that's why I was like, wait, this doesn't. So I was like, that's why as soon as I read that panel, I was like, James, we're going to talk, because it was driving me crazy.
But it is. It's seriously everybody in the book. It's Light Ray and Steel, Midnighter, Apollo, Enchantress, and Manchester Black, and chick with the half exosuit, crop top exosuit.
Yep. So, all right, James, take us there with Son of Kal-El number 3, and we are now caught up on our comics. Till next week.
Yeah.
And luckily, there's no super book next week. I checked.
Okay. I gotta look and set my pull list for this week.
All right. Take us there, James. Lead us.
So we open up and a building is collapsing. Superman catches the building. John says 472 people inside. Go save them, and I'll hold this as long as I can. John, I have 4 seconds to save 472 and their pets. Everyone clear. The building collapses. Justice League Alert said this was a hyper-localized seismic event. Could be an attack. There, they go find this young woman with fault line on the front of her clothing. Kind of looks like super suit. It says fault. Clark goes to help her. Ma'am, I don't know what you want, but it's just me. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Please, just to she. It looks as though she just goes to pull her hand away, and Clark gets slammed to the ground, real hard. So, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, aren't you, supervillain? I don't know. You dress like a supervillain.
She's wearing green and purple.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm wearing this. I don't know what's happening to me. Okay, they pick her up. You okay? I'll be fine. We have to get her off the ground. A single step could result in devastation. Body density charts. It's like she's bonded to a fraction of a neutron star. So that's certainly what it felt like when she hit me. Start talking below human hearing. They know a place to take her.
Which
and
is
they
awesome.
They take her to a weightless chamber at Star Labs, which is pretty sweet, you know?
Yes.
So she's there. John gets a message. I have to go. A friend is calling, and it's Jay from The Truth, the kid he met at college. The Gamoran president demanded them back. The government agreed to their return, talking about the refugees. The Truth reported it an hour ago. People started gathering to protest. It showed up soon after. This is a protest. I mean, from what's happening here, you don't really get an idea of how this protest is going.
Right.
It's peaceful or not. But a police officer automatically goes to assault the woman. John steps in the way, and it breaks over his arm. What are you doing? These people are gathering illegally. Yeah, well, I'm gathering with them. If you're arresting these people standing up who can't stand up for themselves, then I guess you're arresting them too. You can't. Why not? I mean, I know. Do your job. So they slap handcuffs on him and news. John Kent at Grant Planet. Why are you doing this? What are you hoping to achieve? And I'm gonna have to read like this whole page. It's really good. Superman was a refugee. Grandparents put their only child in a ship and sent him on a dangerous voyage. Father crossed an ocean of stars. And he found a new home, here on this world, this country, called sanctuary. That's all I want for in refugees. President Bendix insists they're not refugees. He says the nation of Gamora is a paradise for his citizens. Well, I rescued President Benedict's citizens as their boat was sinking. They left everything behind, everything to escape his paradise. I think it's time we looked closer at Henry Bendix and questioned his claims. No one sends their child perilous unless it's more dangerous to stay behind. which is really next we get John in prison. He says, Clark comes to the cell, time to go, son. John says, if I'm only being released because of who you are, and he said everybody else, John wasn't having it. He wasn't just Superman's son. Jay is there to help. He was going to bail out John, and Superman already took care of that. Nice little joke. He'd do it any time. I mean, not that I think he rested a lot. He said it's not outside the realms. His mother has been rested.
True.
Yeah. So Superman invites Jay to dinner in Smallville, and they carry him. John gets to carry him. He gets to fly to Smallville. Smallville, the Kent farm.
I love this.
Smallville, the Kent farm. Clark's parents are there, still alive, and Lois is there. Hi, Jay. I'm Lois. He could speak when we left Metropolis. Cool. You didn't tell me Lois Lane was. She's not. I fully realize it now. Kind of like jumps at her almost. I'm sorry. I have dropped the ball, not in a way. You're just like my hero. And he kind of runs off embarrassed. 1 second, what was that? It's a farm, right? It's a barn I can hide in, bury myself with. Usually people are more intimidated by dad. I'm a journalist, and Clark Kent is good. Lois Lane, I mean, she's pulling Pulitzer. She has single-handedly brought down some on the planet. She collects energy. This is all true. Like trying again. So they go into the house. Family's there, and mother, Jonathan and Martha Kent, kind of worried. Lois is straight-faced. John knows kind of what's happening. He's been waiting. Day that Superman has to. He believes from history that he's not going back. Yeah. I've been to the future. I've read it from history. This is where your story ends. What I really like here is if the future is locked, that's impossible to escape from. Fighting, stand for something better. Growing up, I used to sit on those nights up and put out there, and I never imagined anything. I don't believe fate. I do, John. 472 people and their pets are alive. And it's not just the people you save, actions created ripples, family, friends saved, lifetime, lives will live. You already changed the future. So he goes to fly off, he's flying out in space, and John chases. This is a really lovely thing here. Father and son,
yes,
embracing each other. It's a really awesome panel.
He says,
gotten the panel of Superman kissing Lois on the moon. Gotten the panel of Superman and Wonder Woman kissing behind this beautiful sun, this beautiful horizon and stuff. And now we've got this father and son racing out past where you can see the curvature of the earth. Really awesome panel. I think that one stands up those two.
I love it because I love how he says, I have to go, John. Why? Because people need me, and I have the power to help them. People need you here, too. No, people need Superman. And that's you now. I'm the man of tomorrow. You're for the days after.
Yeah, that was... and then I like what Martha says here. Your father will be back, John. Comes back every time. You're not worried? He's my son. I'm always will. But I stopped doubting. Come back inside, make a little less.
And then we have Superman and Lois flying off together, and then we have basically the setup of in Gomorrah. It says,
yeah, this here I was like, whoa! I was like, what's going to happen at the beginning of the next issue, man?
It's like long-range satellites, lost visual, Superman is gone, and we've retrieved our girl. She's already in the air, Mr. Bendix. Tell them to go. We have the order. And they throw her. Let's take Jonathan Kent's world from him. And, we have Jonathan saying, my father is my hero, but he's gone away. He has a fight beyond our world, people who need him. We see the girl falling, and John says, my hero isn't here to save us. Kaboom. Right on top of the Kent house.
Giant, yeah, right on top of the Kent house. Giant explosion. I mean, like, it's not, see, the thing is, it's colored like it. I don't think it's an explosion because it's an impact.
Yeah.
Like, this is a massive impact. She's got density. And so the impact is so hard. I'm sure that there's some sort of explosion component to it, but it's literally just kinetic energy, so much so that, I mean, it's like if an asteroid collided.
Exactly. I was like, holy cow, that's the Kent farm. But
yeah, which I'm like, what the heck is happening? Superman is out with Lois. It's John, Martha, and Jay, and Jonathan. Like, it's gonna I'm very curious as to
what's going to happen.
What happens? Sorry,
you're fine.
Yeah, where we're going to pick up in the next issue? What happened to them? Because if her impact could take down, if a step of hers can take down a building, her impacting ground like that on the Kemp farm, I mean, it's like a meteor hitting the farm.
Yep. So we are all caught up on our comics. And wow, a lot of good stuff, a lot to come. I'm loving this book. Can't wait to see where we go next.
Seen you had a Facebook video, Superman versus Lobo.
Yeah, that was an experiment that went completely crazy thanks to my daughter. But
did it? I didn't get to see it. I saw you were on it while I was at work.
Yeah, I just recommend.
I shared it out.
As much as I don't like Lobo, I recommend this book. I'm enjoying it. I was iffy about it, but I thought I would give it the first issue a try. And I like that format. And stick around after this episode, people. You can hear my quick thoughts on that. I'll tack on the audio from that. And keep listening and looking out for our social media because we have a lot of cool things coming this month. And remember...
Look up in the sky!
Well, hello. Hi. Welcome to the Krypton Report. This is one of the first live broadcasts I've done, and it's different. So I'm going to try to learn how to navigate this and see how this is going. And yeah, so welcome. If this is your first time watching, awesome. It's my first time doing this. So everything is new. And let's get it going, right? So the first thing I thought we would do, we're going to start this on Fridays, a special where we talk about certain comics just as a short review. And today's because it's the new launch. We got our new artwork up, our new show, style, our Patreon campaign launched today as well. We're going to review Superman vs. Lobo. Now, if anyone who's listened and knows, I am not a Lobo fan. I was very hesitant when it came to this book because I was like, I don't really like Lobo, but it's a Superman story, so I thought I'd give it a try. Let me get a quick drink. Good stuff. First thing, I like this format, this prestige, larger format. It's, not every Black Label book comes like this. Some do. I'm a fan. I like it. It makes it a lot easier. It makes the art pop, stand out a little bit more. So I enjoy it. So this book, okay, which is written by Tim Seeley and Sarah Beatty with artist Mirka Andolfo. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Sorry. I don't want to say it's an Elseworlds-ish kind of story. Like there's nothing in here that I noticed that really pinpoints the continuity, which is nice because it just means that I can pick this up, enjoy a good Superman story. And it is a good Superman story. So let's kick it off. We're introduced, we meet Clark, we meet Jimmy, we meet Lois, and we meet Martian Manhunter. And Clark has an awesome exit to where he goes flying into space. And there are people at an island, the Telk Resort Planet system, where we see some people trying to rob it. And who's there on vacation? Lobo. And he's got some really cool lines about he's busy, he's on vacation, he wants to do this. And we have this creature who looks like straight out of like Dune. And Lobo, in true Lobo fashion, just punch first and crash everything later. Just starts destroying everything. Oh, what is that? Look, it's Sayla live. Okay, baby.
So can you get just stay on.
Okay, baby.
What was the problem? It was.
That's my 4-year-old. It's daddy-daughter day. She gave me this time. Notice my superhero daddy shirt, and she has her daughter shirt on. And you never know what's going to happen live with my crazy children around. But the book gets into Lobo basically.
That daughter's daddy shirt.
See? You never know. And Lobo is like helping people, but not really helping them. And of course, Superman shows up to save the day and does it correctly. We've been watching a lot of My Little Pony. Which did. Sayla. This is why it was a pilot broadcast and I'm doing it at 2 o'clock in the day. But Clark comes in, stops Lobo, angers Lobo, takes all Lobo's fame. But basically, Lobo decides to launch a hashtag, No Thanks Superman, and starts basically creating a hashtag movement. And he's using false information, false people, fake, to create No Thanks Superman, cause problems, and turn people against Superman. Of course, it starts to go backfire. Superman has to save the day. And Lobo starts broadcasting himself as Lobo. And they start the hashtag Lobo's Over Party. And it's a good book. I will say, like, I don't want to give it all away, but it's an interesting story between Superman and Lobo. And the last page is a little giveaway, but basically Lobo ends up in time on Kazarnia, and Superman ends up on Kazarnia, and Lobo ends up in Krypton. And, excuse me, still getting over being sick. It's a good book. Check it out. I actually was surprised by it. I'm looking forward to the next issue. And I bring it up because, like I said, I'm not a huge Lobo fan, but there are great parallels between Lobo being the last of his people as far as Superman being the last of his. So it's an interesting read. It's interesting character analysis. But that's it for this show. Start checking back. We're going to be doing more live shows with some fun reviews. So just keep chilling out to the Krypton Report. Bye, everybody. The Krypton Report is a Tears production. We thank you for listening and enjoying, and please support us on our Patreon account, our TeePublic store, and check out our social media. Always remember to look up in the sky.